Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You guys can see I'm actually in a clean shirt. Hair is washed. Fresh socks and underwear. So you guys are wondering, milk time with Rita? Yeah, it's almost time for bed. Let me tell you a story tonight. So, my headache is getting worse. I finally decided to contact there's a pint glass, so I can have a glass milk. If I need more milk tomorrow, Chloe will pick up another gallon. Otherwise, we don't need much for our Christmas dinner. So I want to share with you a story. Chloe's going to help narrate it tonight, too. I think you guys should hear the story from both of us. So I went up by EMS, did a check. It's having chest pain, stress related. Then I was having massive headache, I told Zoe. Zoe saw her stockings. And I said, so I went up by ambulance. And what happened? They get me here. They say, they don't tell Chloe this. Oh, there's something, her EKG looks wonky, right? So they give me a nitro. Then they give me 4 aspirin. Then they get me to walk. I use the bathroom. Then they walk me upstairs, put me on this new high-powered gurney that they're all bragging about. Then it gets stuck in the snow. It's like they just push a button, it lifts up, push down, and they're all bragging. They get me into the ambulance. Then they're sitting there and they're not moving because they want to do another EKG. Oh, yeah, we better give you some more nitro. Calls on the phone. Okay, give him nitro. Doctor said, give him nitro. All right, so give me nitro. Did they, what did they do with my nitro? Did they take?
Sure. I think they might have taken it.
They took my nitro, some of the bitches. Oh, they took my blanket too, it seems. You see my blanket anywhere? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Oh, nitro's right here. So, they give me 2 more in the ambulance, take me up there. Doctor comes in, looks at me, goes out. Nurse flushes the IV, does the blood draws, runs it to the lab, gets it all done. They tell me to go take a shit and a piss so they can check for cancer and stuff. They get it all done fast. I'm like, oh, by the way, my roommate's coming up on the service dog. Okay, yeah, well, no problem. We'll look for her. So I'm sitting in there. Doctor comes in. She's starting to say something. I say, hey, Doc, I've been here 45 minutes. Got to take a leak. She said, do you have a penis or a vagina? Vagina. So I need to tinkle then. Leak, tinkle, whatever. So I go in there and I'm listening to them. Doctor says, yeah, that bastard's the one that called me names when Chloe was up there. I tried to get Chloe fully committed to the state mental hospital. Chloe, so they get me back to the can, and doctor doesn't come in, nurse comes in, does the EKG, says, oh, goes back, talking to the doctor, I'm listening. Doctor's sitting there going, okay. Comes back and says, oh, your heart is healthy as a 13-year-old. Why are they giving you nitro? Because the doctor said I have heart disease. Well, what type? I have heart disease. Well, from what we see on our tests, you're clear. She said, first of all, the doctors that gave you your surgery down below and your facial surgery should be brought up on fraudulent charges because they don't know what they need to give you. You're too mentally ill. I said, whatever, doc. Anything else? She's their primary care physician is keeping you filled with nitro, even though your heart doctor moved to Miami. Those 2 need to have their license stripped because they aren't following the protocols. You don't take nitro. I said, well, the EMS gave me 3. Wrong answer. They shouldn't have given you any. Your heart could explode. So I'm sitting there. Doctor leaves. I'm like, okay, next lady next over has got high blood pressure. They're giving high blood pressure med, doing all this. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, God. And then I, sitting there and I'm praying, Chloe, if you're coming up here, they don't let you in, give them hell. I know you will. You may be a pain in my ass, but you know the laws as well as I do from OPI. Doctor comes in, he says, we might need to hold you for 3 or 4 days. for a CAT scan. I said, this room doesn't have a TV. Well, you know, we can't move you to another room. We're full. They're putting people in the waiting room and stuff. And I'm sitting there going. So finally I said, where's the tech coming from? Oh, down south, Seattle area. We have 12 other people besides you need a CAT scan. Another doctor comes in, gives me a card and says, said, there's hell coming up. So doctor talks to me, leaves, you know, whispers. He's whispering to the lady next door. And he stayed quiet when the nurse is passing. So we shot the shit for a bit and he leaves. Next thing you know, doctor comes in and says, well, you know, what do you need? Got to use the toilet again. Well, I'm on the toilet taking a dump again. And a piss. She's in there going, well, you know, we've talked to this guy, and we've talked to Dr. Paul, Dr. Shea, Dr. Waters. That's his first name, Waters. And they all wanted to detain Rita because of booze, but her piss levels is no alcohol and no pot or drugs. Sheriff comes in, we talk for a couple minutes. I'm sitting there, you know, but that's after the bathroom. Well, anyways, I'm sitting in the bathroom getting angry, right? And then I hear people whistling into the waiting room, whistling in. I literally let out the polar bear. The growl was so loud in the bathroom. I came out and I sat in my room. I'm going, they're all worried that there's a bear on the property. I'm like, okay.
Timer.
Alexa, set a timer for 35 minutes.
I'll be back there. I'll be back up. Dinner's ready.
Aren't you going to sit?
Well, I will. Let me sit down.
So, doctor comes back in. You're almost on. You're going to have to sit here for a minute. Doctor comes back. I said, my roommate's bringing my dog. If I have to be here 4 days, you might want to move me to a room with a TV. Oh, we don't have a TV, but, you know, thing is, we're looking for a blood clot in your lung. For what? The chest pain. It could break, so, you know, you're on estrogen.
Beef first to get some buns. You gotta try that.
So all of a sudden, this nurse literally comes in with the doctor and says, nothing. Doctor says, well, we can't have your dog here because he's aggressive. The other doctor comes in right after and says, aggressive my ass. First she says, that was the second thing. First thing she said, oh, you're sharing a room with someone. Someone could be allergic in this hospital to dogs and it can transmit coronavirus. I said the law states you can't let the service dog not be here. So about 10 minutes later, she comes in. She says, oh, your dog's aggressive. We can't let him. And then I said, well, my roommate's coming up here. She must be in the waiting room. Oh, your roommate hasn't come yet. Go ahead, Cole. You're on.
I did. Okay, so I was there. I did show up there. And when I first showed up there, the nurse that answered the door told me wait in the lobby and said, well, we can't really let you in at the time because and he came up with excuses that that we can't let the dog in there. We can't let non-patients in because they're sharing a room with someone. And then I was like, well, I need to get Moppy in here, at least talk to whoever, and I need to get him in there. They had me wait for 30 minutes. And then 30 minutes later, he came out saying, oh, well, we can't really let him in because it's policy. I talked to the administration and the directors. They don't want him in here because he's aggressive. And I was like, he's not aggressive. He's a trained service dog. He is certified, and he is to be in there with his owner, who's certified to be a service dog too. And if you don't do that, then there will be a lawsuit because we will sue. Because we will bring you to court.
Should I play the voicemail?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, don't forget he was a mangy mutt. And what about the thing you said? The nurse said that the nurse said something about a paycheck, right? That it's okay to kick the dog.
He said, yeah, he was sarcastic saying that if my boss tells me to kick your dog, then I will do it because
it's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck, and I don't want to be fired. So if to kick the dog, I will, because I'm doing what my boss tells me to. Because I have work ethics.
Okay. So
I have work ethics, and I'm a great employee.
all right, here we go. Here's what Chloe said to me, if you guys can hear it. So there's what Chloe said. I was pissed because, frankly, they discharged me 2 minutes before she called me, and she didn't realize my Google Voice doesn't go with me. So what happened? I get out of there. I go out and say, "Oh, that's the way to go." The nurse in the waiting room said, "Hey, Rita, good to see you." And I was like, "Eh." He looked at me and he said, "Sorry about Moppy," And I was like, "What?" They said Moppy wasn't here. Oh, yeah, I meant sorry that Moppy wasn't here to greet you as usual. So I go out and I'm walking across the thing and I'm slipping and sliding in the parking lot. So I said, "Oh, here's a sidewalk." So I walked around. And then I'm walking and walking and walking. And I get up to the EMS station because they have their own little bay next to the hospital. I was like, "Them son of bitches, those motherfucking son of bitches." And the lady looked at me and she says, "You're going home already?" I said, "Yeah." Old guy says, "Hey, young lady, thanks for the compliment." I said, "Don't worry. If I could give you a ride home, I would, but we're on duty." I said, "Don't worry. You volunteer, you get a paycheck." "We get a paycheck." I said, "Then don't worry about it." He says, "Oh, are you the female version of Buford T. Justice?" I said, "Those some bitches." They basically kicked me out. And they said, "What was the reason for it?" Well, I told them, and then I walked along. I'm walking and walking and walking, and I fell into a couple 2-foot holes, so my robes, my jammies are getting wet. Then I'm sitting there and I get to down to Compass where I have to turn onto Spring Street. And from there I go to Guard Street. Then I go up to Tucker and then I go to my address, off of Tucker. So I'm walking and this old lady says, "Hey, I signed the hospital. Do you want to ride?" And I go, "No. Thank you, ma'am. Merry Christmas." And she's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, those some bitches." She says, "We know. We heard the whole story. We felt bad for you." I said, "Well, I take the ride, but I don't know you, and I don't know if I'm going to be kidnapped. No offense." I said, "Some bitches, mother." And she's like, "Well, please get home and please get a hot bath. We know your roommate's been really good to you, so make sure to get your roommate to draw a bath for you." I said, "Yeah, she's going to have to use the buckets because those some bitches at the apartment won't fix the tub." So I'm walking along and I get past the post office and I'm like, "Some bitches, them son bitches." And I stopped, at the high school, leaned up against the thing for a minute, going, "Son bitch, son bitches, sons bitches." And then I keep walking and a car drives by and I walk across up to Guard Street and I'm walking along and I'm going, "Fucking son bitches, some bitches." Light comes on. This guy's like, "Oh, we've had some vandalism, so we put in motion lights and camera." I said, "Don't worry about it. I'm heading home." He said, "You live up that way?" I said, "Some bitches, yeah." He said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, nothing." So I walked up and there's this gay couple. They like me and Chloe. They're like, "Hey, sweetie, what happened?" I said, "Some bitches, those some bitches." And they're like, "What's wrong?" I said, "How's your party?" And I said, "Oh, we're having this great party. Maybe you and your roommate want to come." I said, "Some bitches, no, I'm going to stay quarantined for 2 weeks. I was in the hospital." So I told them what happened. They're like, "Oh my God. Here's like 3 different legal cards. They're gay and lesbian under the trans. They're like, we got what we wanted in a sheriff. They're married." I'm like, "Them some bitches turned around and kicked me out." So the reason for it is because Dad said I needed to share this. Please call and schedule an appointment with your doctor on Monday morning. Please return to the ER for worsening of chest pain because they thought it might be a blood clot in my lung. But the funny thing is, it's 4 days to wait, 3 to 4 days for CAT scan. Chest pain, trouble breathing, fever, neurological problems, severe headache, loss of consciousness, or further life-threatening concerns. Really, whacked my head pretty hard. They said, oh, well, today you were offered a CAT scan to rule out a blood clot or a tear in your main arteries and a CAT scan for your head to rule out that you have bleeding in the brain. You decided not to stay for this because of the stress it put on you of your dog. Please return if you change your mind. You appear to have mild symptoms of a concussion. It's very important that you get plenty of rest. Talked about imaging your brain, but you declined this as well because of the stress of your dog. If you'd like to have a study, you may always return to the ER. There's no evidence that you're having a severe injury or bleeding in your brain. Please continue to take your regular medications. Return to the ER for further life-threatening concerns. Follow up with your regular doctor. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Stressing my dog. Oh, really? That's nice to know. So that's all they gave me. So, on my way out, they basically wrote concussion, what I need to do. Since I've been putting ice on 12 hours on, 12 hours off, it's good. And because they think they put mild, but the doctor said medium, then I need to sit in bed mostly and not do YouTube vids. And not stress over little petty stuff. So on my way back, the only thing I can say for a factor and certain is the roads were semi-bad, but not semi-bad. I might walked all the way home on a sidewalk with puddles and pools and, the drain pipes were, the drain thing, the sewer grates, the drains, the runoff water that was overflowing because, it's melting the ice and snow. It's 42 and snow, freezing rain, or, rain right now. It was freezing, but it stopped. So what happened? So on my way out, so what about taxis? When the doctor says, we don't waste money on taxpayers like you. You don't deserve it. Enjoy walking home. Well, the one doctor said, make sure to take a bath when you get home. That's what the one lady was telling me in the SUV when she drove by. And make sure to get out of my wet clothes. Take a bath, clean up. The doctor also said they didn't want me there because my pants and my jammy pants and my robe and my panties and my socks were all stinky and my hair must have been not washed in a week. So she was like, well, besides your dog being aggressive, you stink. So they put in, because of the stress of my dog, I could have waited 4 days. They even tried to call in the doctors with detainment when they found my urine was clean and no booze. I said, I drank a bottle of cherry bourbon last night to stay warm. It was like, I said it could have been like below 30 in my apartment. Which reminds me, do I get the heater on? Nope. It's 42. So, anyways, but yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, And by the way, everyone, Merry Christmas. For some of you, it's overseas already. It's Christmas 24 hours. So, Merry Christmas to you, or Merry Christmas. Do. Anyways, I wanted to share that with you all because I mean, Zoe messaged and said, thank you so much for the Christmas stockings. They're beautiful. I was like, okay, cool. She, thank you. Yeah, so I got to send her, Dinky, a screen capture of that. She said the craftsmanship is unbelievable. But anyways, they told me literally stay home, lay in bed. And the doctor says, look, if you had bleeding in the brain, you would have been dead by now. You had this on the 11th, and currently it's the 24th, so that was 13 days ago. It's almost 2 weeks. They said you're not dying. So he said Merry Christmas. He said if it was a blood clot in the lung, it would have popped already. And so the doctor's like, more likely a CAT scan ain't gonna find anything. It's musculoskeletal. But then she goes on and on, and the one doctor said, don't worry. I mean, literally, they want to basically challenge my doctors for surgeries. The lady went through my records, which she could, and she couldn't find any mental illness. But she's like, wow, but Funny thing is, when I did that polar bear growl so loud in the bathroom, they all thought a bear was on the property and they were looking for it. And I was like, Chloe said, didn't you hear the wolf in the waiting room? I literally was screaming like bloody murder. I said, I didn't hear nothing. The doors basically, but when I walked outside, it was like rain and snow melting, and I hear, and I'm walking, and I'm like, them some bitches, but yeah, I mean, literally, they were literally like, goodbye, and I'm thinking to myself, this is where Chloe and I should have took the radios. She should have basically literally said, give this to Rita, and if I was walking home, I could have basically got to a point and be like, breaker, this is Mama Bear. Mama Bear needs help. Because when I got to cross the street on Guard Street, I was literally catching my breath. And then when I got down to Tucker and then going down the hill and then up the hill, I stopped like 10 times. When I got to the main road that goes to where our apartment is, I started catching my breath. And as I walked across up the hill to catch the one area, there's these apartment complexes. Well, one of the young pup policemen saw me and said, Rita, are you okay? I'm going, yeah. I said, them son bitches. And he said, I watched Smokey and the Bandit the other night. I said, some bitches turned around, kicked me out, told me I wasn't going to wait 4 days. I said, Chloe's going to basically have a heyday. And my dad, too. And the sheriff, it was like, do you want me to walk you all the way? I said, once I get to the ramp, I'm going to basically take a break. So I said, okay. So I walk, and he says, I'll come with you. So I get to the bench, right in front of the laundry room. I sit down for a minute. I'm like, and he's like, are you okay? And I said, some bitches threw me out, saying I refuse a CAT scan to wait 4 days in a room with no TV. He says, yeah, that's not good. I'm like, you guys are good to me. He says, because you never have any complaints. The lady there was trying to tell me telling the nurse that it should have been 44-year-old male, not 44-year-old female, but they put that in there, I made sure of it. And that was it. I was like, you know what? I'm leaving, And the lady was like, well, you can wait here with no TV and just stare at the wall with them ask for 3 or 4 days. I said, oh, you're going to serve me food? Well, we might be able to bring in Chloe to bring you something to eat, but, we would be holding in the ER and, you might not be happy with that. And I was like, son of bitches, I need to get home. But at the same time, they were literally like, telling me, oh, well, your dog's aggressive. I'm a dog lover myself, but, hospital policy. Well, the other doctors, they're looking at me going, I treated you the last time for acute booze, Rita. He didn't bark or bite anyone. He slept on the bed the whole time, kept you warm. He said, you know what else is the problem? I'm sitting there going like this, going, and I said to the doc, what is it? And he said, do you notice something? I said, no. He said, are you freezing? I said, yeah. They didn't even offer you a fucking blanket. They did the blood works. They did everything they can. Said you're good to go and threw you out, basically saying I'll take 4 days. I said, well, if I stay, can I get a blanket? Oh, well, we'll just let you. We're running out of blankets. You can use your coat. It was like they literally refused everything. Oh, I said, look, my dog's allowed here. Well, we don't have the facility to take him for walks. Yet Chloe calls me 2 minutes after I'm discharged when she gets home, and I'm already 2 minutes out walking down, going, like old man Parker going with the whatchamacallit, with the with the furnace, and the doctor's like, what you need is to relieve your stress by just staying in bed, but he said if you're not getting much sleep, that could be a problem too. You could be bipolar. Well, I'm not going to be put in a mental hospital over the holidays because you jackasses think I drank too much. And, he's like, you didn't drink too much. You're clean. He said, we thought we took you up while you're drunk, but you're not drunk. I'm not drunk. I'm not on alcohol, nothing. I mean, I told the EMS. He said, when was the last time you drank? Last night. How much did you drink? Whole bottle. Why? Because it was fucking freezing. I said, I haven't touched a drop since fucking election day. I've been cleaning the whole time. Said last night was the time because what am I supposed to do with the lantern going? Good point. But then when I asked for a ride home by cab, the taxpayers aren't wasting the time. Yeah, but I heard them say that Chloe should have been in the state mental award still in either Western or Eastern, staying there because she's problematic. And yet all of a sudden they come up with, and you know what they tell me? I said, to the nurse as I was leaving, I said, hey, well, is Chloe in the waiting room? Let me check. Oh no, Chloe never came up here. And then when I was leaving, the guy said, hey, sorry about Moppy. I said, what about Moppy? Sorry, he wasn't here to greet you. Was Chloe here? No, Chloe wasn't here. And I'm walking outside, wrapping my thing, my scarf and my gloves. And, I got about halfway home and I took the gloves off. It was overheating. And then I got to 3/4 of the way home. I took the one hat off and my Santa hat. I had a beanie cap under it, wearing the Santa hat. And then I got 90% home. I unzipped my thing halfway. When I got up the hill, I was just like, then I zipped it. And then I literally stopped. And, the one sheriff, he stopped and said, hey, I told him, I said, I can barely move fast enough from the hospital. I said, you put in a good exercise today. I said, yeah. He says, you probably burned more calories than most people. I said, yeah. He said, what do you think you should eat for dinner? I don't know, ramen or tomato soup. So I get in, and he said, see you later, Rita. I get downstairs, and, I'm thinking to myself, maybe EMS told her to wait 48 hours. I get in. I said, can I get a glass of water? I'm catching my breath. I said, oh, okay, here. Drink it. Can I get another one? Yes. Can I have my phone? Here you go. Can I have my dip can? Here you go. So then Chloe says, then I was talking to Dad. And Dad said, damn Catholic hospital. And Chloe says right there with Dad on the phone, this is why I don't believe in the hospital. Dad says, you may hate Chloe. You might want her out. But having Chloe get your bathwater set up fast because you can get green in your feet tells you she cares. She may be a diamond in the rough, but look what, And then I said to Chloe, so what happened? So Chloe's on the phone with Dad, and then she says, play the voice clip. So I do it, right? Then Chloe tells her side to Dad, and Dad says, son of bitches. He says, yeah, you got fucking screwed. You literally got screwed. And they didn't even offer a ride home. And then they said, well, we hope she gets gangrene so we could cut off a foot or something, or make her really crippled, And I'm like, you fucking son of bitches. So as I was walking home, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on the phone. Chloe's going to draw the bathwater. I'm going to have a chat with Chloe. And then Chloe said, oh, I left you a message. Well, they told me Chloe didn't come up. Then they said Chloe can't come in. First they said, oh, we can't let Chloe and the dog in because, the hospital's full. Then they said, oh, we can't let the dog in because he can provide coronavirus for others. Then they said he's aggressive. Well, which one is it? Then I told the lady, look, 6 years of owning Moppy, he's never been aggressive once. When he was with my husband, he's never been aggressive fucking once. He's always been there to every hospital with me, and every one of them have testified that he's never been aggressive. He's been to me with me in surgery for facial surgery, breast surgery, vagina surgery. I said, he's been with me every freaking time. He's been in hotels. He's been in motels. He's been in my cousin's place. He's been on the trains. He's been on planes. He's been on buses. Not once has he been thrown out. We've seen other aggressive dogs been thrown out, but not Moppy. Well, yeah, I'm a dog lover myself, but, that's the policy of the hospital. It's bullshit. The other doctor said, well, I saw her in August and the dog slept on the bed. Well, dogs have to be on the floor. Hospital policy. And, he's aggressive. And then they put in my records discharging that I refused a CT because of the stress of the dog. Didn't say that it would take 4 days to get a CAT scan specialist from Seattle. No, they just, and they're like, oh, we have 12 others, so you'll be last on the list. So I'm supposed to share a room with someone over the weekend while you guys, and then when I said, can you give me a cab? If I have any problems, I'll come back. Otherwise, I ain't waiting. And they're just like, she was just like really like, then they're like, no, enjoy freezing and enjoy walking home. So then when I get home, Chloe's like, oh yeah, this around. I'm like, but yeah, I let the polar bear out in the bathroom. I was not happy about it. And then I went back to my room and, they're like, oh, someone said, that sounds like a bear. There's a bear on the property. We've had bears in past on the island. What do you think it was, grizzly? Or was it a black bear? Maybe it was a brown bear. And I'm sitting there going, maybe it's a Kodiak bear. Oh, we can also rule that could be a polar bear. And they're looking at me like, and I said, oh, as I was leaving, you're going to discharge me when there could be a bear on this island? Good job, people. Then when I was walking and down the streets with no one around, I let it out again. And then when cars passed me and left in the distance, I let it out again all the way home. In areas where it was not much residential. Yeah, that's how angry I was. They're saying, oh, you might have a blood clot. Doctor said if there's a blood clot, 11, 13 days ago, I'd been dead. They said, your heart's clean. Your heart is great. Your cholesterol is great. Your sodium level is great. Your high blood pressure is elevated because of Chloe. Your high blood pressure is elevated because of your tobacco use. Your high blood pressure is, oh, that reminds me. I'm like, what? I've been reading your husband's documents. His diet's pretty shitty. You can't access a dead man's records. It's against law. Well, we're a Catholic hospital. We can get things where others fail. I said, my husband's records is his business, not yours. I said, by the way, make me a copy. Why would you want a copy? Because I want to read it because I'm going to be here for 4 days. Oh, no, we can't do it. There you go. It's against the law to print out it. Then why are you looking up to see what he died from? Heart attack is what the coroner put. That's what it is. I said, I'm going to let my primary care physician know you did that. Well, it doesn't matter. People can access it for insurance records if he has kids or if he has, a dad who said my son died. I'm like, oh, and your mom died of lung cancer. And then, I talked about, they were like, oh, are you suicidal? No, I wouldn't take the cheap way out. Why wouldn't you? Because my sister died of booze and fentanyl. My niece died of drugs, overdose, suicide to say. And I said my wife in Australia died. Did you live in Australia? 5 years, lady. Lady's like, oh. I said, anything more you want? Because, that doctor, I heard her in the John the first time, literally calling me and Chloe bastards. And there's better looking women out there that's trans than us. Well, you know what, lady? You can discriminate all you want, but you know what? Just to drum me out by saying I'll take 4 days for a cat. Oh, ferry permitting. That's what she said. 4 days, ferry permitting. The ferry's been running really slow. You probably don't look at the DOT's website that often. And I said, oh, I check it every day to see where the ferries stand. Oh, well, with the bad shortage and, with all the road problems and, ferry permitting. So I was like, you know what? I'll just look it up, lady. So apparently there is no, so the Yakima is the only thing out of service. They have problems with the Kititas, the Yankees out of service too for a while because, they canceled it. She's like, she was talking about, oh, no, the boats are delayed because of other issues. And I said the boats are out of service usually because of crewing issues. No one wants the job. Oh, well, you might have to wait like 3 or 4 days, And I was like, put me in a room with the TV. We don't support TV here. Patients get better by looking at the wall. I said, that's your way of driving them out so you can say that you gave them treatment and threw them out. I said, no. I said, I'll go home. I got my bell. I can tell Chloe I want dinner. Chloe's like, what do you want? Soup or ramen? Either or works. I said, I'll stay in bed. But, the lady turned around and, one of the nurses and I were talking about prepping, she said, oh, yeah, I need to get some prepping stuff. The army guy was in the ambulance, said, yeah, we'll help you with prepping, talking. He's like, do you have, he was joking, do you have any potassium iodide tablets. I looked at him. Oh, yeah, more than you can think, and you ain't taking it. And he's like, so you really think there's going to be a nuclear bomb going up? Maybe. Why do you think Russia's rattling its saber? I ain't taking chances. Well, I'm an ex-military veteran, Army, and I can clearly tell you, ma'am. He was like, sweetie, nothing's going to happen. You preppers are losing it. Maybe, but then again, when your grocery bill goes up, you won't be able to basically knock on my door, because my office door was open, all my food stacked up in there. He's just looking, going, "Oh my God." He says, that's when he asked about potassium vitamin. I said, "Dude, I got everything I need. I don't have to leave. Why do you think I don't leave my house?" So in the ambulance, he's like, "Do you ever leave your home? The last time you got a ride was in August." Nope. I'm not allowed to leave. Well, why aren't you allowed to leave? Because I said, if you want to get truthful, Chloe doesn't trust me. And two is, Chloe doesn't want me sick because around these people. I said, Chloe's probably going to see me get a head cold and a chest cold and coronavirus and whatever else, because, but that one EMS lady, she's like, make sure when you get home to get a bath. So the third person to say it. I'm like, second person. Third person was an old lady in the SUV, and I was like, yes, ma'am. Chloe will get me a bath because she doesn't want me to lose my feet like Uncle Donnie. But I'm telling you, and as I was walking, I'm like walking, my body wasn't cold. I was really nice and toasty. The problem is my feet, my shoes were, I told Chloe, feel my shoes. She's like,
wet.
Oh, wow. What was that? Dumped it, and my pants and my gown's wet. Why? I emptied falling in a 2-foot hole, but you know what? I'm still here. And, and Dad's like, well, you're still alive, but, the thing is I just, the headaches will go away, they said, in time, due to the fact that, but I wanted to thank Chloe. Sorry, I got to say this. I want to thank the wolf for raising hell. I was in my room going, they don't let Moppy and Chloe, give him hell. Give him hell, Harry, like Harry Truman, give him hell, Chloe. The buck stops with Chloe. And then they told me Chloe didn't even come up here. They're like, oh, EMS said you'll be here like 48 hours. And the doctor's like, might be 4 to 5 days. That's what she said. And so they don't want to waste Chloe's time to come up there. And, Chloe's sitting there, right, when I got home. And Dad said on the phone, I bet Chloe would have loved to see you walking down the street. Them some bitches. She says, you were literally doing that. I said, I was doing my Jackie Gleason impersonation. Them some bitches. The EMS offered, said that they could have given me a ride if, and Eric, the sheriffs, they weren't going to give me a ride because, they thought I'd be there. But to have no fucking TV in a hospital tells you something. Oh, they were going to call you to bring me food up, whatever food you can scrounge around to feed me for 4 or 5 days while waiting for a CAT scan. I said, can I come back in 4 or 5 days for a CAT scan when things clear up? Oh, the CAT scan lady might be off island again. I was like,
I was thinking tomorrow picking up a few items at King's for Christmas dinner.
So what Chloe's going to do is she's going to eat her food, clean the fridge out, pull the trash out, take the trash out tonight. Just be careful, okay, dear? Yeah. Then she's going to put new bags in, clean the fridge, and I'm going to defrost everything and make sure it's extra defrosted tomorrow. And then I will prepare a succulent Christmas dinner for Zoe because Zoe deserves it. Literally, she went out. Was your shoes any wet, or were you wearing?
Oh, they were wet. I changed my socks.
What about your shoes? You changed those too to a different pair?
Still wet. Socks were mostly wet.
So my socks were freaking drenched.
So yeah, I had to walk there in the cold on the ice and walk back on the ice in the cold after being turned away by the.
You know what pissed me off? You want to know what really upset me as I was walking home? Truly?
What is it?
Okay, so as you all know, I'm a polar bear. What is the first thing I did when I was walking home? As I was cursing, you know. You ready for this?
Sure.
Using my polar bear instincts, I was stopping on my way home, catching my breath. And what was I doing? Looking in the tracks for Moppy's paws. I didn't see it. I was like, either she walked across on the other way or she didn't come up here, and they're telling the truth. You know. So which way did you go? I'm just curious.
Same way there and back. From here, I went up Tucker, then went up Guard, Blair, then Spring Street the whole rest of the way. On Tucker, I was on this side of the street. Guard, I was on the side of Courtney Moo Moo.
Yeah, okay, that's what the way I did too.
Blair was on the same side as the school. When it came to Spring, I was on the same side as what's that place? The same side, the side closer to the marketplace.
Right. So the post office side.
Yeah. Well, actually, Spring Street is it's the side.
I was on the bank side.
Yeah, with the bank side and stuff like that. That's the side the hospital's on too.
And then I went across
vice
from
versa,
Compass.
same exact way back, vice versa.
And then I went across from Compass and walked up past the Friday Harbor Post. You know the Post, the San Juan Post. You know the FedEx place. And I walked from the hospital past the EMS, past the airport, past the San Juan Post, all the way down to the corner, walked across the street to, oh, by the way, I did wave to our friend. She was
Hey,
in
Alexa, stop.
She was in our, she was, I think her name's Melissa, remember? She's the one who runs the hotel with the pool, the one that Zoe wants to go to. She saw me, and she's like, hey, Rita, and I'm like, remember me? She's like, when I got up there, right, I was really pissed. I was like, Chloe is at home. EMS told her probably. And then the Melissa's like, oh, I was looking out out having a smoke. And lo and behold, Moppy and Chloe's going one day. And I'm like, I was like, some bitches told me that Chloe fucking wasn't there. And I was like, some bitches. So then I was really mad. I went past the school, up across, up to where she calls it Courtney Moo Moo, went down that way, and then this guy's light turns on. He's out looking. Oh, I thought there was an animal or something on our property. Sorry, and I'm going. I said, at that point, I said, hey, dude, see a lady with a Shih Tzu or a service animal? Oh, yeah, they went down Tucker. He said, I was wondering if that was your dog. I said, yes, it is, damn some bitches. And he's like, what's wrong? You upset at your roommate? And I go, no. Hospital. Oh, I walked down and down and down. You know, I did run into those two gay guys. Remember those nice guys?
Yeah.
Stopped for a minute and talked to them to catch my breath. They were out planning a Christmas party. Nice people. They were like, oh.
Was there a Christmas party, you said?
They were setting up a Christmas party tomorrow, I think.
When is it? Tomorrow?
I think so. They were just saying they're happy about it and they're doing a Christmas dinner thing on Christmas too. But they were pissed off at the fucking hospital.
I wish I was invited.
So then they were like, tell me to give you your love. And I'm sitting there going, And then the fourth thing they said to me is, because I was in my khaki, and some bitches, and they're like, they joked, you two did some bitch. Talking about Chloe. So what's some bitch? Chloe, some bitch. Well, what do I got to tell Chloe? Make sure you have a bath. We don't want you losing your feet because of the rain and the snow mixture. Oh, Chloe's going to basically do that. And I'm calling my dad to tell about this some bitch. Well, you were dad. He was furious, Chloe. He literally said you left a fucking paper trail a mile long with your voicemail.
Yeah.
So there you have it, peeps. I've done this for 45 minutes. So me and Chloe's going to flip a coin. Ramen or tomato soup tonight?
I go tomato soup for you.
Oh, yes. And a little TV time for tonight. So don't expect me to be on Christmas Eve. Me and
Once I
Chloe's
eat,
got-
I'm gonna make your food and
Don't
I'm
it-
gonna do dishes.
I want to say to all of you, if I come on to do a video with Zoe, it's fine. Oh, I did complain to the sheriff about my package. He says, oh, yeah, power outage. Apparently, a lot of people got the packages boosted. This is the only ones that didn't get their package boosted. Is the one sitting in the FedEx and UPS warehouses when they're not being moved. Yeah. And I was talking to one lady about that, and that's my power. I said, yeah, enjoy your food, by the way. Oh, yeah, let me clear my chair off. Let me move
Wait,
my
I
coat.
can do it because I got food on there.
No, I said, let me move my coat off the blue chair.
Oh, okay.
God bless you, I said. So they were like, telling me, the lady was telling me that my diabetic level, I'm not a diabetic. My cholesterol's fine. My salt's fine. She was just like, but that was that one lady, remember? When I gave her hell 4 years ago? Apparently she's never forgotten me. Anyways, it was just an interesting night. And my dad was like, pass the word to your family,
I hate it when that one time I came to complain and the nurse, Arna, assumed I was there to get checked in.
So, and then as I was talking to the EMS on the way out, we were shooting the shit, when they were leaving, they were talking about things. I said, yeah, my beautiful moderating team on my YouTube channel bought me some presents. They said, oh, I bet you're looking forward to opening Christmas Day. I said, no. Sorry, Chloe. Nanka. And they said, why? I said, because they're in a UPS or FedEx warehouse and they're not moving. Well, you got to expect it with the weather being bad. And I'm thinking to myself, right. So currently, Zoe's presents, Mama Pee-wee's presents aren't coming tomorrow. So they told me that Mama Pee-wee and Zoe should complain about the shipping allotment. But you know what? They're going to get out of it saying, oh, well, my computer screen, apparently some jackass unplugged my thing again. Not you. The EMS unplugged my damn computer again.
Of course, they always do it.
Oh, yeah, fucking dicks. Anyways, I wanted to say to all of you lovely people out there that, I was trying to check one other thing. And then Chloe, of course, told me to hurry this video up. God bless her. And then told me she'd make dinner tonight, whether it be ramen. The doctor threw a fit about it. The high salt content is pretty bad. Final do tomato soup. Well, you don't need tomato soup, So apparently, Mama Pee-wee's present is currently in a Seattle network at 8 o'clock. So unless it gets here tomorrow, it ain't coming till Monday.
Let's say these people say, you should be eating grits all the time.
No, they actually yelled at me when I said I had to get home anyways for prime rib.
You eat grits? Pickle pig's feet.
So,
And beans.
come here. I want to show something. Come here. Hi. For the video to end, I want to share with you this. Moppy, Mama Fanny, and Mama Pee-wee both agree you need a treat tonight. And they give you a double payment for trying to tread up there. You see him being aggressive? No, he's sitting on my lap as a good service dog. What do you think, Chloe? Does he deserve a payment?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. See? He's just sitting there whimpering about his payment. Okay. So, he's mangy. Oh, Chloe, while you're out here for the final part and you're eating, would you explain once more about that damn dirtbag thing about kicking and beating my dog or punching you?
He said he said it, he was, because I told him, like, so you're just gonna bow down to your boss. I'm going to break the law. Put it this way. If they told me to kick your dog and call him Asian mutt, I would do it because I'm told to by my boss and I don't want to get fired. If I'm told to punch you, then I'll do it. Because
Aggressive
it's like
my
all I care
ass.
about is a paycheck.
Aggressive my ass. Hey, baby. Thanks for trying to be there for me. And I think what worried Chloe the most, when I came through that door and she heard my key, I heard her say something like, oh shit. She looked at me and the first thing I said is, can you draw me a glass of water and a bath? I don't want gangrene. She said, what happened? I said, oh, you'll hear about it with Poppy. And then Poppy's like, oh, so you refused a CAT scan because they wanted to hold you. By the way, what was he said? I'm now a cash cow to them?
Yeah.
4 to 5 days to wait.
Yeah. You just said all I care about some money.
And of course they do.
The only money they make goes to the Catholic churches.
And they claim it's a whatever. It's a hospital that's a non-funded hospital or something. But they take Medicare and Medicaid, so you know. But they apparently they're telling everyone, you know, the lady said, "Oh, Medicaid pays the entire bill. Medicare patients, throw them to the wolves." Yeah, that's what the doctor said. But you know what? The doctor was more surprised to see me when she finally looked at me. She didn't know who I was, so she was waiting in the room going, oh, my God. Then when they got me situated, she was in the, I think I used the John, right? Because it's right next to the freaking nurse's station, so I heard everything. But you know what Chloe said to me that made her laugh?
What is it?
How security was scrambling around looking for a bear on their property.
Didn't you hear her saying something about getting rid of the person in the lobby with the dog?
I didn't hear anything about that. They were basically keeping it a tight lit. And they said nothing. They just told me that you never showed up.
Because they want to lie to you and get away with it.
But, you know, I told the damn lady, literally, you can't break the law. And she's like, well, we're not breaking the law. Your dog's aggressive. We can use that in court. Well, the one doctor is like, they can't use that card because I took care of you the last time and the dog slept on the bed. Well, apparently I have a feeling that one doctor is going to be kicked out. That's what I think.
Which one?
You remember the old man that came in on the 24th when I was drinking the booze from Zoe's because of Aaron?
He's the
one that talked to you when I was sleeping.
You didn't do what we told you to do.
Well, he doesn't have to.
Instead, you insubordinate our rules, we're firing you.
Well, you know what he said? He turned around on the way out. He looked at me as I was leaving. He says, remember that chat we had the other day? I said, oh, in August? He says, yeah. I said, where you told me in a whisper, don't pay the bill? He says, I wouldn't. You see, they basically did what? Blood labs? I mean, how long was I there? Less than 90 minutes? Yeah.
And then they'll charge for stuff you didn't even do for you.
I know. And then the lady's like, well, we know. Oh, yeah. And I said, if I find a billing for a CAT scan that wasn't billed, then she's like, we're not billing you for a CAT scan that you refused. But, you know, she's like, I would be like, she's like, because you're retarded. That's what the doctor said. Because you're an autistic, retarded person. I'm retarded. I'm smarter than you, lady. Because you're an autistic, retarded person, I want to basically make it clear that you're refusing treatment because you're under stress of your dog not being here. And 2 is you're under stress that you don't have a TV to be here for 4 to 5 days while we get a CAT scan specialist. And I said, oh, anything else? And she said, you know, I'm under that stress. And I was like, can I get a cab? And she's like, no. And you're refusing treatment to look into a blood clot that could be in your lung. Because that's what we think's wrong with your lung. Well, if there's a blood clot in my lung, wouldn't I be dead by now? Well, it could have made it. What? Because you're on estrogen, it's a blood clot. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Then she's like, you're a higher risk for blood clots because you do tobacco. All right, whatever, lady.
I don't know what they would do. To a female patient, they were treating her, and then they found out on her medical record she had an abortion in the past. Do you think they treat her like dirt?
Yeah, probably in that hospital. Mm-hmm. So then when I got home, first thing, I was on the phone to Dad, and Chloe said, because I always say, don't make me call the sheriff because, you're getting out of line. Chloe's like, I'm not going to peace. Well, you know what? She doesn't have to go to peace after what they did to me. I mean, literally literally thought I was under the influence of booze and pot. When they found out I was on pot or booze, they're like, ew, well,
The same DCR who kept harassing me.
And then when the nurses all left, the lady next to me who was getting a blood pressure med said, are you male or female? Female. I told her, and she's like, and, I said, I said, they have the doors closed and everything, so no one's knocking. And I said, may I enter for a second? She said, yeah. I went up to her and I said, I'm leaving, but I want to tell you. She said, it's discrimination. You stink, right? I said, let me just tell you a little secret between you and I. She said, okay. Don't worry, there's no bear. I said, I'm Native American. I basically did the bear call myself out of anger. Oh, let him scurry around for the rest of the day. I said, that's your Merry Christmas from me to you. You get entertainment. She's like, serves him right. I said, by the way, I heard them on the John that they're treating every patient here with Medicare as dirt and everyone with Medicaid golden because they can bill for everything under Medicaid. She's like, I am Medicaid. No kidding. Keep up the good work. Merry Christmas. You too. And I slipped behind the thing and, all right, I'm leaving. They didn't even know I talked to the old lady. The lady was really nice. She was just like, I walked out, and the guy was trying to cover his wording, like, sorry about Moppy. And I'm like, what about Moppy? Sorry he didn't come to visit you. You usually, when you leave, you have him in tow. But then these people along the way said to me, the first person said, oh, I saw Chloe. And I'm going, really? Yeah, I was having a smoke, checking the weather. And she was going that way. That's why I realized, Chloe's ahead of me. So then I had to catch my breath. And then when I got up to the guy that's, was asking me, the guy that gave me that pair of canes, remember that one nice guy?
No.
He had a motion light on. We were talking. He said, oh, yeah, your roommate went down that one. I'm like, he's like, are you angry? I said, no, I'm not angry at her. I'm not angry at the hospital. They told me Chloe didn't even get into the hospital. And, one guy overheard say, oh, I think she left and went home. You missed her. And another one's like, no, she wasn't here at all. And I'm like, that's when I was like, when some bitches Chloe's at home enjoying a warm, hot meal and my TV, and I'm stuck up here, and then I realized when I got home, I wasn't going to yell at Chloe. I wanted the truth. And Chloe's like, oh, I left a voicemail. And I was like, you left a voicemail. You were there. I was there. We were right there. Well, then I told Dad about the voicemail, played it with him, and Dad's like, Chloe left a paper trail. Good Chloe. Yes, Chloe learned something about discrimination 101 to 104. Always leave a paper trail. So, I figured there's a big update for Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to you all. Time to watch a little TV, and I'm going to have some dinner.
Next time I go face up things like that to places, if I have to go up against Rita.
See, look at this. Hold on. Look at this. You see that? I'm not putting Chloe in the video, but see that? Does that look like an aggressive dog?
So if I ever come upon discriminators like that, I'm going to bring my tablet phone, with a tablet I have, and I'm going to start recording them video. I will take videos of them and I'll upload on YouTube or something.
I would. That tells you right there what's going on. See, look at that. Does he look aggressive? He's not aggressive to me. He's not aggressive to her.
Yeah.
Proof's in the pudding. Oh, he was aggressive in the past. Really? Even the one doctor said, when? Oh, well, it was several years ago. Even the EMS people on my way past said he's never been aggressive. He's always been welcome in the ambulance, but they didn't want to take him because So when I asked the one guy who was going in, the bald guy, I said, "Oh, you got a beautiful bald head." He says, two reasons why they didn't want your dog in the van. One is, the rough roads and there's no way to scare him, which is true. Two is the hospital didn't want him up there. I was like, why? Well, I don't know, man, but your dog's cute. He was just like, I was in there barking at him, yap, yap, hey, don't take my mommy, yap, yap, yap. You see him? He's sitting there looking for a handout, like, can I have some gravy?
Yeah, he's cute when he does it.
I mean, he's not aggressive.
I mean, the fact that that doctor and that nurses said that, it's just uncalled for.
I've never, ever felt unwanted in my life. And then Dad...
You got nurse? Looked like he had recently graduated from college at the bottom of his class.
Well, I had a couple other nurses that know me there. They came in, chatted with me, and said, sorry, your dog is not welcome. After the fact that the doctor said, oh, I'm a dog lover, but, your dog's aggressive, and we have to look after our patients. Then she said we have to look after our, but then they're like, if you had a blood in the brain, you'd be dead by now. Yeah.
Here's the sad thing about the hospital. All the good staff there that tries to at least help people all get ran out. All the ones who try to talk to class eventually get ran out.
Remember that one
people who more likely cheated to get their degree get to stay there.
You remember, I'm going to just say the initial. Remember Dr. L, who was running her own gender clinic in Bellingham in the Catholic Hospital?
Yeah.
Peace ran her out, Dr. L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
By the way, they ran out old Jimbo. Did you know that? He's gone.
Why did they run him out?
Because he was a good doctor.
Another doctor got ran out when they were found out to be against Trump. He got ran out. One doctors who actually said he was a Democrat and got ran out.
Anyways, I'm gonna spend my the rest of my evening watching TV.
Or if you're not Catholic, or Christian, they run you out. It's like they want you out.
So my question to Chloe before I go is I want to get her opinion on something. I refused a CAT scan, Chloe, on the grounds of the stress of my dog. Was placed twice. What do you think?
Yeah, her right to be stressed.
My dog's a service dog, everyone. You don't abuse a service dog. You pamper him.
And the nurse, that rude nurse, what he said about Monkey.
Kicking him?
He's like, yeah, I could kick him he was like, well, if I was told to kick him, I would do it because it's my job. And that's what I get paid to do.
So there you guys have it.
I was like, then why don't you just move to China then?
Anyways, everyone, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'm gonna.
It's like the dude was trying to be Chinese.
Well, apparently they were full up, no beds available, and they started filling up the waiting room. And apparently the lady before me was there in room 3. I had 2. Room 1, and she even saw an old guy that was interested in Chloe in a relationship. She even said, while waiting, told them that she thought she told him that she thought she was going to be discriminated tonight. He's like, oh no, the beautiful Chloe been discriminated against. He may not like the dog, but he's like, you don't deserve to be discriminated against. Hi.
I talk about Isaiah. I saw him and he was pretty cool.
Probably like, hey, doggy, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, he actually pet him off.
Aggressive my ass. I mean, look at this. Does this look like the dog that's aggressive looking at me for another handout? Look at that.
Look, he looks like a shaggy puppy.
What?
Puppy dude.
What?
He acts like a puppy.
See, that's his. He ain't aggressive. Look at that.
Look how cute he is.
But what? EMS or the doctor's gonna say that's aggressive because he's looking at me like, pay me. Fine, I'll give you 2 more because it's the holidays. And I think you deserve it for all the freezing you had to do. So
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the heater on.
He deserves those
And
payments.
then I'm going to put on my TV show. Here you go, baby.
Here you go, Pops. There's your payments.
So everyone, I just want to say Merry Christmas to you all. And all a good night. And have a great Christmas. And I'm still alive. And they just told me to tell Chloe to slow down on stress. So Chloe's going to do her chores. And we're going to have a nice Christmas dinner.
What I'm going to do soon is get the fridge clean and trash out. That's my main priority. Well, also cook tomato soup.
I guess I get tomato soup tonight because that's what Chloe's serving. I'll eat it. Make sure it's slow. It stirs on medium. In the meantime, thank you, Chloe. For the rest of you out there, have a Merry Christmas. If I don't see you, it's time for me to sit down and binge watch till I go to sleep. The A-Team. So, for you guys out there, you know the drill. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion at the like, subscribe button so it's funny for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. The bell notification, the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Leave the comments nice is all you ask. And God bless you in everything you do. And Merry Christmas. Do. Merry Christmas. Do.